Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome to the second off-season here in the Charlotte 49ers Dynasty. We now take a look at the College Football Playoff. College Football Revamped allows you to put this in the game, so Miami and Florida will face off, the top two teams in the country, after defeating Nevada and Michigan in the semis. On the opening drive, Miami gets going with a deep pass this time, and it's not really deep, but he takes it all the way for the touchdown. Jared Bray, the tight end, or fullback that is, he goes all the way 66 yards on the first pass of the game, 7-0 for Miami. So here's Emory Jones at quarterback running the option and pitches it back to Pierce, who is not ready for that one, as Florida already turns the ball over. This has been their Achilles heel this season. They turn the ball over 20-plus times, and now Miami has an opportunity to score with great field position. Cameron Harris runs right up the middle, 4 yards out. It's a touchdown. Miami strikes again. So 14-0. Here's a throw across the middle, and that's Damian Pierce, and Brooks is right there with the hard hit. Miami has a top 15 defense and a top 5 offense. You got to watch out when playing them. Here's Derek King in the second quarter throwing to the All-American Brevin Jordan touchdown, dragging both feet as well. It's now a 21-point lead in the second quarter, and that one may be the throw of the game right there. Perfect and great catch by Jordan. So here's Carpenter, the backup quarterback in the game, and he loses 8. And that's Jafari Harvey's second sack of the game, getting to the quarterback. And Florida has been blanked 2.5 quarters into this game. But D. Higgins gets in the end zone once again, and now it is 31-0 in Miami's favor. It looks like Florida is just outmatched in this one. They do get one garbage time touchdown this time. Carpenter finds the end zone. Emory Jones got hurt early and did not return in this one, but then Mark Pope recovers the onside kick, and Miami goes on to win the national championship in a blowout. Jafari Harvey, 2 sacks. He gets player of the game, and Manny Diaz will hoist that trophy. And congrats to Miami. They had an excellent season. Now, looking at the other bowl games, Appalachian State lost to Southern Alabama. So Justin Thompson Jr. had an excellent second half of the season. They went 8-1 in conference. And Eric Taylor in this game threw 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Other games around the league, Army absolutely blows out LSU 38-13. Michigan and Florida went at it, obviously 10-9. And that was in the semifinals. And then North Carolina ended up getting blown out 38-14. Now, the only coaching changes we really see going into our conference, because remember, Appalachian State and us are both getting promoted, as App State has a new offensive coordinator, so they will look different on offense a little bit. But now we hop into the real offseason with our team. Now, players leaving. How about Travis Shaw transferring? This is very interesting because I played him a lot because of his size last year, 6'6", 295. But he's transferring due to playing time. That is very, very interesting to South Carolina. He's definitely not going to play there, but we cannot convince them to come back. That's how I do my series. If they want to leave, we let them walk. So Travis Shaw will be missing now, and he was actually the backup defensive tackle, the nose tackle, and I'm surprised he ends up leaving. But we are losing quite a bit of senior firepower. Grant Newport and Julian Mendez, both our special teams kickers and punters respectively, will leave. But some key guys on defense, Kevin Scott, Lee Elmer, Max Liebum Jr., all 3 starters end up leaving. Mick Lott, Riv Johnson, Marcus Williams, they're all starters on offense as well. They're leaving. And then Calvin Joshua, and one of the underrated guys that's leaving our team is Brian Bourbonnais at guard. He was an excellent guard the last couple of years, and now we're going to be missing him going into the offseason. So now we go into offseason recruiting. But for the first time, we have all of our recruits already recruited for this season. So we will not recruit in the offseason. We have 15 total commits. We end up with the number 70 recruiting class, which is actually not bad at all. That's actually pretty good based on what we were last year. We were like 110 or so last year. And I would move up to like 70, 75. and I'm excited for a lot of these guys to come in and play. We have a lot of exciting freshmen, including Brooklyn Santana, who everybody's excited to see. NZ Labate is going to be an underrated guy as well. He's going to be a back that's big and can run. So let's look at some other top recruits around the nation. The number one guy, Gandy, goes to Washington State. Tim Fordnall is Appalachian State top recruit. Bo Bell is the top recruit for UNC. He will probably be starting year one. Ken Williams goes to Duke. Duke is significant because they get demoted into the American Athletic Conference. Tremaine Sullivan, one of the top recruits, goes to South Carolina again. Nate Hart just misses Appalachian State. That would have been their top recruit this year. Clifton Scott is another South Carolina recruit. And then Kevin Ward is a 5-star athlete going to Chapel Hill. So in this series, I do have a rule. If you do not start or play significant playing time in year 3 of the squad, you will transfer. So Jabezi Jones is one of those examples. He falls victim to that rule, and Billy Buggs would have been a subject of this rule, but now that Travis Shaw has transferred, now Billy Buggs has an opportunity to play. In his junior season now, it's his 3rd year on the team. He's got excellent strength at 88. His awareness is very, very low, and that's kind of why I play Travis Shaw more than him. But I'm excited to see him play now. Now, Pettigrew was a guy that committed to our team, and we did not recruit him, so that was just an example of that. But 2 guys that could fall victim to this rule is Gibbons and Isaiah Pete. Both of them have not played at all. Isaiah Pete's been actually a decent special teams player, but obviously only 1 tackle. It's not really that much of a thing to keep him around. So we'll have to see. I don't really know how that's going to go. Owen Benfield is also a victim to this rule. He has not played, and he's got 3 people ahead of him. I'm not really sure what type of playing time he will get. Now let's look at training here, because we really need to get better all around the board. I think that we had a collapse at the end, but I think that collapse was very telling. Our offense was decent, and to be honest, when JPE went out, we were terrible. That's not good at all. If our starting quarterback goes down, we need to know that we're going to be all right. We're at least half of the offense that we were with him, and we were nothing without JPE. So we're definitely going to need to kind of find something in our offense that's going to be better this year, just in case JPE goes down. Rochford is good. He's just not going to win games for you. He's not going to lose games for you either. He's a very accurate quarterback, very safe, but he can't throw the ball down the field. He's kind of a 15 or less kind of passer. He doesn't really throw past 15 yards too often. If he does, it's good, but he can't do it too much because his arm strength will not allow him to make those throws, and guys can jump on his passes since they're in the air longer. So we'll have to see what our offense can do, when JPE is out of the game. We're going to have to figure something out there. Now, our offensive line is something that I'm really worried about, because we are not good at all. I did not notice that we were this bad after Brian Bourbonnais graduates, but he was kind of anchoring our offensive line, because running the football, we would kind of run to his side or have him pull on plays, and we can't do that anymore. Brian Bourbonnais is a huge loss for our offense, and I think it could show this year if our offensive line does not show up. Now, we do have some guys that will get some playing time this year. Gabe Griffin is one of them. He is a guy that can get off after the quarterback, hopefully. And then Billy Buggs, obviously, I already highlighted him. He's going to be a big guy. And then Miles Taylor is going to be another guy that we redshirted last year. He's going to be decent, but I don't think he's going to play too much. But we'll see. The rotation is going to be interesting, because we definitely need to find out who's going to be our pass rushers this year. I mean, we need that for sure, because last year, like I said, the only way we got pressure was by sending blitzes. I don't want that to be the case once again this year. If it comes to that, it comes to that. But I would much rather be sending 4 on most plays, because then if we blitz, offenses are going to pick us apart. So hopefully Gary Anderson can step up in that role. DeMarcus Forte as well. We'll have to see. In the secondary, we were excellent, but I am worried about that nickel corner position. I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. CJ Miles is the number 1 guy there for now, but CJ Miles could also play on the outside, and we can move, Vincent Youngblood inside when we do have three backs on the field at a time. We'll have to see. I don't really know what it's going to look like going forward at the cornerback position between those three. So now we move on to conference changes. We are obviously promoted. Appalachian State goes into the National Division. We will go into the American Division. You can just see Boston College and I believe that was Duke. Yeah, it was Duke. Have been demoted from the ACC. So they are both in the American Athletic Conference this year as well. In the Conference USA, Tulsa and SMU both get demoted. And then Wake Forest gets promoted back to the ACC, and so does Maryland. Now, I know that Maryland is not an ACC school. I needed to find a team that would kind of work here, and I might move them back to the Big Ten, but we'll see how that goes. I definitely needed somebody to fill that spot, so we might make a change there since they're not really in the ACC. Now, let's just talk about the few freshmen who weren't renamed for you guys, and you guys did submit your recruits. How about Bobby Whitlaw, 6'8"? He's actually got 75 catching, which is actually really, really good, and 97 jump. He played high school basketball. He was the center for his basketball team at 6'8". He is going to be an excellent player for us. He's not fast at all, but we'll have to see what he can do. Xavier Hayes is an interesting guy. He's got the highest block shedding as for any of our defensive ends. I think maybe Emmanuel Webb has higher, but I don't think so. I think that Hayes is going to be somebody that's very, very interesting. Watch out for him. And then how about the younger brother of Vincent Youngblood, Terrence Youngblood? Now, I don't know what type of playing time Terrence Youngblood's going to get in his first year because he's got two guys that are veterans ahead of him, Areola and Ferguson Nichols. Both of those guys will compete for the starting strong safety job, and I'm not sure Youngblood will get in. We won't have many siblings in this series, but Youngblood is the first. Now, looking at red shirts, now I thought about going at Matty Brooks and redshirting him because he is a faster freshman that I can save for the future, but I might need that speed because right now he's the second fastest receiver on our roster, and I might need that, so I'm going to keep him unredshirted. So I decide to redshirt Powers at tight end, and then Luis Osorio is going to be redshirted as well. It just makes complete sense here. Octavius Oakley and Darius Moss are the starters, and they're obviously not going anywhere, and they're both seniors, so it makes complete sense to redshirt Osorio. But one thing I love about Osorio, great play recognition, and he's our best coverage linebacker. Now, coaching upgrades, we do have two. I only do this at the end of each year, so once I accumulate them, I do put it on the upgrades here. And we will kind of have points early on in recruiting, and you'll see why when we reveal recruiting in a couple of episodes, why I did that. And now we hop into the spring game, and this year, we will sign a 2-year contract to do this versus Minnesota. It's been Syracuse in the past, and now we want to hop into a bigger school, a team that is kind of on the rise a little bit in Minnesota, and they have a very, very decent squad. Zach Anixtad is going to be a senior this year, but Minnesota is actually really good at recruiting quarterbacks, so I'm not really worried about, them at all. They're going to be really, really good in the future, I think. Cam Wiley is a good running back. He is going to be in his second year starting. Then they have a decent receiving core, but we'll have to see how this squad shows up versus us in the spring game. So let's get into some highlights here. Let's see what JPE can do. This is his first full year starting, so it's going to be different. Teams are going to now key in on him. They know what he can do well. They know what he can do poorly. So we'll have to see what JPE can do as, like I said, he didn't have to compete this year. He's got the starting job. We'll have to see. So here he is scrambling to the right side on the 1st and 10, throwing deep on the run, and he's got Brooklyn Santana, the exciting freshman touchdown. 57 yards. The defender had his back turned, and Brooklyn Santana was wide open, and the ball just comes in right behind the defender. Excellent throw. It could have been a little risky on that one, but instead, they make the play. So 7-0 here in the scrimmage. Here is Wiley with a run to the left side, and there is number 22, Ferguson Nichols, who is competing for that starting safety job. He takes the wrong angle at the running back, and it goes for 6 and a touchdown. And like I said, though that position is going to be key, strong safety and nickel, I'm going to need somebody to step up there because Kevin Scott was such a good safety there. I really took him for granted. I didn't realize how big of a weapon he was at the strong safety position, but let's see what we can do here, replacing him. So back on offense, here's a read option. This is Enzi Labata, the freshman. He has space. He's big, 6'2", down the sideline and inside the 10. Now, Enzi Labata is a guy to look out for in this offense. He's wearing number 39 in the scrimmage. He's going to wear number 24 in the regular season. But you can just see right there the speed and to get to the outside, making that man miss at corner, making a corner miss as a big power back, it's definitely tough. And there you see that speed on display. So inside the 10, here's a design quarterback rollout, just trying some plays here, and it's picked off. And that's Oliver with the interception. JPE throws his first interception of the game. Now, JPE has had accuracy issues in the past. I'm wondering if that will be an issue this year, but that one was just, wrong page with the receiver and ends up being a bad throw. But let's just check out defense here. Here's a nice play by Vincent Youngblood, but the one guy I want to look at here is Ugo Tenbawa. Now, he made a couple of plays the last couple of years, but I'm definitely going to be looking to get him more playing time. He gets in and gets a hit on the quarterback on that play. So now towards the end of the first half, here's a deep throw across the middle in traffic, and that's Devon Cash who goes up and gets it, bailing out his quarterback a little bit. And I don't know if I would have thrown that pass, but Devon Cash goes up and helps out his man, JPE. And now here we are, under 40 seconds left here in the first half. JPE scrambles. He's going to take his time and throw, and it's caught. Cash is in for the end zone, into the end zone for the touchdown. And I like what I see from Devon Cash here in year 3 already. He looks like his hands are way better going into this season. Now, I want to go back to the strong safety position, and here are the two candidates for this position. It's Ferguson Nichols, number 22, but then also watch out for junior redshirt player Jacob Ariola, number 37. Now, the thing that Jacob Ariola has over Ferguson Nichols is that he is more athletic. He has 94 acceleration, same speed, 80 speed. They both have 80 speed, so there's no advantage there. And he's also a little bit better in coverage. So watch out for that competition. Both of them will see playing time, and I don't think this spring game was enough to show us who can really take over there. So in the third quarter, here's a deep pass, and that is caught. Brooklyn Santana. The freshman has shown out here in the spring game, and he's shown what he can do. He goes up and gets it. I think Brooklyn Santana has shown enough and shown that he is going to be a big-time playmaker in this offense. So it looks like JP is out of the game now. Rochford throws to the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Now that's Bobby Whitlaw, the 6'8" freshman, and just watch out for him. He is not super athletic, 67 speed, but he can catch the ball. He's got decent hands with 75 and that 97 jump. Definitely in red zone situations, he's going to be used. So I want to see what our defense is going to look like, because now that we have a missing safety and a missing nickel corner that graduated respectively, they're going to be some growing pains in the secondary for sure. I think our secondary was the strongest part of our squad last year, and I don't know how it's going to look this year. We're going to have coverage, linebackers in coverage this year, and you can just see there is Steve Thompson, their best freshman recruit last season. He gets in for the touchdown, beating Darius Moss in coverage. So here is Jeffrey Johnson, the freshman quarterback, coming out. Now, he's still got a couple of years to develop. His accuracy is absolutely terrible right now with 59. Decent arm strength, though, at 82. But we'll see how he grows with this squad, because he's, like I said, not going to play at all probably this year unless injury happens. But he is our third quarterback on the squad, but only in emergency situations will he get in. He won't be redshirted just because we have 3, and we do need to carry 3 on the active roster, so we'll have to see what happens with him. But here he is scrambling to left side. He picks up a gain of 8, couldn't fight for the first down yardage, and he's going to be more of an option quarterback. We're not going to have him in throwing, 20 times a game. If he does actually get some playing time, he's going to actually be more of an option guy, more quarterback draws, design runs, things like that. So in the scrimmage, we do actually tie in regulation there. It looks like Minnesota ended up getting a field goal in overtime and ended up getting that. And it looks like, JPE is going to have some growing pains with this offense. I think that, I did see some things that I liked. He did extend plays and throw the ball deep, but I think he did get lucky on a couple of throws. We'll definitely have to cut down on the risks that we're taking with him because he's not the most accurate quarterback. But how about Brooklyn Santana in his debut here in the scrimmage? He had a touchdown, and that I think the play of the game may have been that catch on the sideline he had over the cornerback. And I think that he's going to be very, very good in this offense. And how about Bobby Whitlaw, a guy that I didn't expect to have a big impact, having a touchdown in that game. So our schedule will look like this here in season number 3. We will open up against Washington State on the road and Nevada. Now, Washington State has the #1 overall recruit in the country, and he will probably be their starting running back coming into this year. Nevada was in the college football playoff last year, so we will play them. They come into this season ranked number 23. Then we will play maybe a lighter game in Kansas at home, and then we will go to Purdue and play them. They are ranked number 24 in the nation as well. Now, Duke, we open up against them. They got demoted from the ACC, and a lot different of a schedule this year. It's going to be interesting. We do play 3 straight, it looks like 3 straight road games, Houston, Appalachian State, and Rutgers right at the end of conference play. We do get a break between Appalachian State and Rutgers, but then we play Louisville, a team that beat us down in the bowl game, and then we will end the season versus Boston College. Boston College is going to be a very tough game because we already know they got demoted from the ACC. So they're going to be a pretty good team and have a pretty loaded squad as well. I think they have about 11 senior starters, so they're going to be a high overall team at the end of our schedule. That's going to be a tough game. So we'll see what we do in our first year in the AAC, and this is what the final roster looks like with the overalls. But I'm excited for this season, but I'm a little worried about our offensive line, a little worried about our pass rush, a little worried about our secondary. So we definitely want to hit recruiting hard this year. I think that, filling a ton of holes in our pass rush will be definitely needed. We didn't do that too much this season, so we'll have to see what happens because we can see a lot more guys getting a lot more playing time this year than we did last. So we'll have to see who fits into what package and what to use in certain situations. I'm not really sure right now, but we'll see. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Season 3 will be coming up in a couple of days here, so make sure you watch out for that. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tinted. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.